Yo, what's good, everyone? Your boy Deke back again with another vid. We don't have big Deke news this time. This is more just chilling, chopping it up about an ESPN article that just dropped. But anyway, the article is about the QBs this offseason. ESPN did a simulation for each team and who their projected starters/starting options are. So first, I will go over each team. As you can see here, here's all 32 teams. And then go over kind of like the Steelers option. As you can see, for the Steelers, they have us signing Jacoby Brissett and also drafting Sam Howell with the 20th pick in the first round. So let's go team by team. First, you have Arizona, Kyler Murray. No surprise there. Atlanta, sticking with Matt Ryan. I guess you could go 50-50 with that one. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson. No surprise. Buffalo, Josh Allen. Carolina. Now, this simulation has this as one big clusterfuck. You have the dude you just traded for, Sam Darnold, former number 3 overall pick in a couple drafts ago. Career kind of looking like a bust. You keep him, but you're paying a ton of money to still. You also draft at 6 overall Kenny Pickett, but then you also have the former franchise quarterback coming back with Cam Newton. So you just think Cam Newton's going to be like the third stringer? Or do you kind of plan on having certain formations for him, doing Wildcat? I don't know, but Carolina with this simulation, that one doesn't really add up. I don't see that one happening. Chicago, Justin Fields, obviously. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. They have Cleveland sticking with Baker Mayfield. I guess that's good for the rest of the league, good for the Steelers because we don't really think Baker Mayfield's that good. Dallas, Dak Prescott, no surprise. Denver, sticking with Teddy Bridgewater. I could see them trying to move on from him. Either drafting a guy, trying to sign a guy, trade a guy, but we'll see. Detroit, Jared Goff, Malik Willis, they draft with the 32nd pick in this draft. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, they end up keeping him. This one was interesting to me, though, because whenever you look in the article, there is a trade offer that they simulate from Denver. Let's go over it real quick. Here's the offer, and listen, I don't blame Green Bay for just keeping Aaron Rodgers because he is a franchise guy. Won you guys a Super Bowl, still a top 3 to 5 quarterback in the NFL. Those are hard to come by, so by all means, just keep Aaron Rodgers because there is something to having a franchise quarterback and not worrying about anything else. But his cap hit, $46.6 million. And look at what the Broncos offer in this. 2022 first rounder, number 9, a 2023 first rounder, a second rounder, a third rounder, and also a wide receiver / tight end from the current Denver roster. So I don't know if it's saying either or. So was that Noah Fant? Maybe it's Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, something like that. That's actually not a terrible offer, especially when you even look at the cap hit. How much longer is Rodgers going to play? Something to think about. Ultimately, they say the Packers stick with Rodgers, and I don't blame them. I probably still would too, because if you bring Rodgers back, and if you're able to keep a semblance of the team again, you got a decent chance for a Super Bowl. Let's look at the rest. Houston sticks with Davis Mills, Indy, Carson Wentz, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, KC, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, Stafford. And then Vegas, they trade Derek Carr to Washington for a first rounder and then a conditional 4th rounder down the line. But then they re-sign Marcus Mariota and then draft Matt Corral in the first round. Miami, sticking with Tua. Minnesota, they're stuck with Kirk Cousins. His contract's terrible. New England, Mac Jones, obviously. New Orleans, they re-signed Jameis Winston. We'll get into that a little bit later. New York Giants, sticking with Daniel Jones. You see all the reports. Management wants to stick by him. Ownership wants to stick by him. I guess, go for it. Zach Wilson with the Jets. Jalen Hurts with Philly. And then we have the Steelers, already mentioned it, Jacoby Brissett. And then we also draft Sam Howell. Seattle, they stick with Russell Wilson. There's about like 5 or 6 different trade scenarios that were offered to him, but ultimately they stick with Russ. Don't blame him for that. San Fran, Trey Lance. It's a new era. They trade Jimmy G. Brady's successor was supposed to be up in New England. Now the official successor, only now in Tampa Bay. So that one's pretty interesting. We'll get into that one later too, just like the Jameis one. And then Tennessee sticking with Ryan Tannehill. So the simulation has the Steelers ending up with both Brissett and Howell, but there were some other moves the Steelers tried to make. First one here was a trade for Jimmy G. A 2022 third rounder, 2023 sixth rounder, and half of Garoppolo's salary for Garoppolo. I'm actually pretty happy that the 49ers didn't accept this because, one, I think this was the worst offer on the table. Our best pick was a third rounder, whereas the Panthers at least offered a second rounder that was in 2023. and the Bucs offered the 2022 second rounder. So not only that, but we are only taking on half of Garoppolo's salary, and I'm assuming from the other 2 picks, they're taking on the full cap hit. So our offer is obviously the worst out of these moves. We weren't really too gung-ho about getting Jimmy G, it looks like, from these offers. Ends up going to the Bucs. So that's a good thing. I don't really want Jimmy G on the Steelers anyway. Next, we have Marcus Mariota. Steelers tried to offer him 2 years, $14 million. $8 million guaranteed, whereas he went back to the Raiders on their deal, 2 years, $20 million, $14 million guaranteed. I actually think this is a pretty decent number the Steelers offered. 2 years, $8 million, so like $7 million a year, depending on how you shake up the contract. 2 for $20, $10 million apiece. That seems kind of high. I don't blame Mariota for taking that. I just don't see the Raiders doing that. I don't see them moving off of Carr in McDaniel's first year and tying his future to Mariota like that. So I think we gave a valiant effort in trying to sign Mariota here. Next, we got Jameis, 2 years, $10 million, $5 million a year, $6.5 million guarantee. They're saying 3.5 in snap count incentives, blah, blah, blah. Saints, 2 years, up to $30 million, 7.5 guaranteed. So basically what they had for this offer was it's a 1-year deal. The whole second year isn't guaranteed. He's 7.5 up front. Everything else is incentives up to $15 million bucks, essentially. That's what I got out of it. So with the Saints, it's kind of like the Mariota situation for Jameis. You're familiar with the organization, even though you don't know who the head coach is going to be, and they offer you more money than what we offered. And our system with Canada, probably not as tailored toward Jameis as whatever coach comes in for the New Orleans Saints. And lastly, the guy we do sign is Jacoby Brissett. We actually don't have any other competitive offers. It's just the Steelers at 2 year, $10 million, all $10 million guaranteed. So actually, this is a better offer than what we offered Jameis, which to me is completely insane because Jameis is a tier, at least 2 tiers above Jacoby Brissett in terms of quarterback. But yeah, of course, this is his only offer. He's going to take it, $10 million guaranteed. Now with this simulation in regards to the Steelers, us signing Brissett and then also drafting Sam Howell, I see some flaws. I don't know why we're bringing in a dude for $5 million bucks when I'm talking about Jacoby Brissett, when I feel like we already have that guy on the roster in Mason Rudolph. We should probably be spending that $5 million bucks elsewhere, like trying to get Cordarrelle Patterson. Like I feel like Jacoby Brissett and Mason Rudolph, kind of the same up to this point in both their careers. Solid, can win you games. Are they a franchise guy? Probably not. I see them more as career backups. So I just don't understand why we would be spending the extra $5 million when we already have that dude on the roster. And then on top of that, we're going to draft Sam Howell in the first round, even though we already have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. And at that point, Malik Willis is still available, so it really doesn't add up to me. So let me lay out the Steelers quarterback scenario as we sit right now. We got Mason Rudolph, kind of the safe pick, the boring pick. He's a veteran at the same time, still young, has experience. We just kind of know what he is. He is the front runner, though, as we sit right now for QB1 going into 2022. But then we also have Dwayne Haskins, the high upside guy, the guy that I think has the most potential to be a future franchise quarterback. So in my opinion, for the third quarterback on the roster outside of those two, I think you have to go either one or the other. You can either sign someone like Mariota or Jameis. I'm saying no to Brissett. As I mentioned, I just think he's too similar to Mason Rudolph at this point. With Mariota, he could be dynamic in Canada's system, and Jameis, he's got a cannon and actually has proven he could be a top 15 starter in the NFL. But if you focus all your attention in free agency to basically every other position of need except quarterback, then when the draft comes around, yeah, draft a QB in the first round then. And in this case, if the simulation plays out like this, I think you got to go with Malik Willis over Sam Howell. So these are some of the flaws that I saw in this ESPN simulation. In regards to the Steelers, I would say either sign Mariota, sign Jameis Winston, and then don't draft the quarterback. Or if you don't sign any of the quarterbacks, you just sign position players, then yeah, go ahead, draft a guy in the first or second round. And in this case, I would take Malik Willis over Sam Howell. So that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.